Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Tom Zuba, and I've written two books. One is Permission to Mourn, and the second one is called Becoming Radiant. Today is Thursday, November 5th. It's 2 days after the election, and the universe is giving us a really, really powerful. That was interesting. The universe is giving us a really, really powerful opportunity to decide if we really, really believe that life happens for us or if life happens to us. Is life happening for us? Over the last couple of days and today and tomorrow and the next day, is this all happening for us? Is this all an invitation to expand, to grow, to choose abundance over lack, to choose love, to choose peace over pain? Is it possible that we actually were designed to heal mind, body, spirit? And in its infinite wisdom, the universe is always giving us the invitation, the invitation, the invitation. With that in mind, I'm excited. We've got two guests for you today. The first guest is a new author, and her name is Julie Rizzo. And her beautiful, beautiful, beautiful new book is called Finding Fulfillment Within. It is heart expanding when I hold a new book that is so in line with everything that I teach and with everything that I believe. So I'm really interested to share Julie with you and to ask her a bunch of questions, like, where did you come from? After Julie, many of you know Mary Wuerdeman. Mary will be with us and gonna talk about the 3-week program that she is launching on November 16th called Healing Mind, Body, Spirit. No coincidences. Today is about healing, 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 about consciously choosing to heal. So with that, I am going to bring Jessica on. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just getting home, walking in the door.
You were at school today? You're just on your way home?
Yep, I just home on my break.
How are you feeling about all that's going on in the world right now? Are you paying close attention?
I have stepped away from all of it because it's just so much. Just kind of the, everyone's energy and their anxiety about what's to come and the potential, the worry factor. Will there be riots? Will this whole process be drawn out for weeks and weeks and weeks? How it's going to play out. So I'm just kind of trying to tune it out as much as I can.
So that's how you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, that's what, and I would have been very, very different before, but I just know it doesn't help me. It's detrimental to my mental health.
Yeah.
To be watching the news 24/7.
Yeah. So we're not exactly sure yet who's going to be elected president of the United States, although it seems to be leaning in one direction, although it may change on a dime. With all of that that's swirling around, do you still believe that life is happening for us?
I do. Always. I trust it, and it's trust and it's surrendering, because it may not make sense and it may not be the outcome that I want, but I don't have what I think of like the bird's eye view, like God's eye view of all of it. I can just see in my little lane. So if I can trust, for me, I say God, him, whatever everybody uses, but if I can trust him in the death of my daughter and in rebuilding a life afterwards, this is a walk in the park, right?
I agree with you. I believe that all of the choices that I made in order to be at peace with Aaron's death and Trisha's death and Rory's death, all of those choices are firm and they apply to everything. I have walked through fire. You have walked through fire. I have a preference for who I hope is president. And I still trust that life is unfolding for me and will continually give me the opportunity to expand my view of everything.
Absolutely.
And I get to choose peace or I get to choose pain. I agree with you, Jessica. I watched like 7 minutes Tuesday night and I thought, I am physically getting ill because of the energy that the news anchors and their guests were throwing out there. And I thought, I care too much about myself. I'm not going to subject myself to this assault, this energetic assault on my being. I'm going to sleep.
Good for you. I'm a slower learner. So I tuned in for Tuesday night until it was getting late. It was Lily's bedtime, probably 9:30. And I thought, okay, it's not going to be decided tonight. This could go on. And then I forgot about it when I woke up. And then I saw I had a couple of text messages and we didn't even put on the news right away. Lily kind of woke up and she said, Mom, do we know who the president is? Because they're talking about it in their social studies class. She's 9 now. So for the first time, it's kind of registering to her. And she went with me to go vote. My mom was volunteering at the voting district. So, she's much more aware than she was last time when she was 5, and we were in Cleveland for Olivia's treatment, living out of a hotel room, looking to see who the president was going to be. And we had all of our stuff going on. It was like, if I could handle not knowing what was happening then and all of the uncertainty, then it's like kind of gotten used to uncertainty and kind of surrendering.
Yeah. One of the new concepts that has entered my arena over the last, definitely since March, it's a gift of the virus, is this notion that every single human being is doing exactly what he or she needs to do to survive. Think about that. Every single human being, every single one of them, from the top to what we perceive as the bottom, we're all doing exactly what we need to do to survive. When I choose to believe that, that's freedom. That's freedom, 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 freedom. And I would prefer to be free.
Free is a better way to live. Not so angry and feeling so trapped in it. And I think it offers us the ability to choose grace. If we look at another human being that is behaving the opposite of how we would choose for them to behave, if we could insert our belief and our pattern onto them, then we are giving that other person grace for ourselves and grace for them.
Yeah. So last night, I was sent an audio file. It's me reading the intro to Permission to Mourn for the audiobook, which we're going to release at the end of November.
Oh.
And Mossy, who you know is a beautiful, beautiful, incredible human being and chef, is actually a musician. And
His music is amazing. It
is
really,
amazing.
really is. Yeah.
So he is a student of what he calls, what's the word? Oh, lordy. It's ambient music. He's a student of ambient music, consciously choosing sounds and frequencies to trigger emotions in the body, in the chakras, in the different energy centers. And the gift that he's contributing, in addition to the salmon, the potatoes, the chicken, and the broccoli
Awesome.
for our retreat dinner, is he's very mindfully laying ambient music to bring out that which he believes is to be brought out as I read my book. I know. So when I listened to the intro last night, I was reminded of all my great teachers because I honor them, I acknowledge them, and I quote them in that intro. And one of them is Debbie Ford, who wrote a really, really powerful book called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. That's a powerful title. It took me a couple years. It took me a couple years to just sit with it. I was like, what is she saying? And of course, one of my great teachers is Debbie. And I didn't use this in the book, but one of the things that stuck with me, Debbie Ford said, within every single one of us is Mother Teresa and Adolf Hitler. You know, we are a reflection of the whole, Mother Teresa and Adolf Hitler. And where do we put our energy? Where do we put our attention? Which do we feed? And I think that these pivotal, monumental times are a perfect invitation and opportunity to live mindfully. I'm going to choose to feed my Mother Teresa.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to pretend that within us doesn't exist Adolf Hitler, and it's just all those bad people out there, you know, that disagree with us. They're the ones that possess Adolf Hitler. I'm older than you, but I remember when Nicole Brown Simpson was slaughtered. And the suggestion was that it was O.J. Simpson. And people were saying, how could he do that? How could he do that? How could he do that? Now, I was married to a woman that I absolutely loved. We had a child that died. If I'm honest, were there moments of complete rage in our marriage? There were. Were there times when I almost could have seen myself, you know, in a fit of rage, grabbing a knife and if I'm honest, yes. I mean, there was that much rage surging out of me. So when I was being honest, I was like, if OJ did it, oh yeah. I could see that I might be able to do that as well. That was a huge eye and heart opener for me.
That is huge. And we all have that in us, that rage and that anger. The most beautiful light workers, light beings, they have it as well. They absolutely have it as well. Yeah. You're so brave.
Well, we're human beings.
Absolutely.
And there is a new way to do this thing called grief. And when we honor, acknowledge, allow that rage or that anger or that jealousy, whatever, when we allow it to come up in a safe, sacred space, that's how we can heal it. That's how we can release it. as opposed to number one, pretending, oh no, I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Or trying to stuff it, deny it, repress it.
Right. Or buy into that old story that good people don't get angry. Good people don't have rage. You know, whoever the good people are.
Or Christian people don't, or
Christian
spiritual people don't.
Or yeah, well-bred good girls don't. All of those old stories. Yeah.
Right. So you know I'm in Florida.
Lucky you. Although it is 70 degrees here in Illinois. So
I know. And I'm really, really, really glad. I'm glad it's 70 degrees where you are. Right outside my windows is the beach, the water, the waves.
I know.
Right.
Nor palm tree.
So this is one of the gifts of Florida. One of the gifts of Florida is a new author named Julie Rizzo. I'm going to bring her on in a second. She lives down the road a piece. I'm actually going to be able to meet her Saturday night at her book launch.
Ooh.
Her book is called Finding Fulfillment Within. Finding Fulfillment Within. She talks about something crazy like, hey, we were designed to heal mind, body, spirit. It's a beautiful workbook. It gives people step by step by step concrete things they can do over the course of time to mindfully live their lives. How is that for the universe saying, I got your back, people. I've got it all lined up. Life is for you. Meet Julie Rizzo. Is that not cool?
So cool. I'm so excited to meet her.
Me too. And the cover of her book, she will show it to us. Her book is this beautiful orange, yellow, reddy. I told her it is. Yeah, it is so in line with my book. It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah, even the color scheme, that is amazing.
Yes. Hey, Julie.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Hi, Julie.
Hi,
It's
Jessica.
nice. We met for a little bit last night. It's nice to be with you today.
Thank you. Thank you for actually having me on. I'm excited about talking about my book.
So show people the cover of your book. It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Let me ask you this. Why did you write it?
Several people have asked me that, Tom, and I honestly didn't start out writing a book. I actually started by just putting down words on paper to get me out of a place where I found myself. I was having a really hard time dealing with anxiety and depression and negative self-talk, you name it, self-sabotage. I just really at the end of 2019 just decided to just start putting down some words on paper of what I needed to do to get myself out of that place.
Had you been accustomed to journaling?
I had not. I actually used to write a lot whenever I was in school, but whenever I came out of school, life gets busy. You don't take the time for yourself. So that's where I kind of found myself. And so it was just, it was amazing to actually commit to that and do that. And it really, really changed my life.
What was it that made you say, oh, I'm going to start actually writing? Maybe writing will be a tool I can use to get some clarity to what the heck is going on.
I just knew I had to put stuff down on paper so that I could revisit it, so that I could remind myself of why I needed to change.
Why did you need to change?
I just was in a very negative spot. I mean, just a very negative mindset. just wasn't happy, wasn't living life the way that I knew life needed to be lived. And
so what I've come to believe is that what the collective has unfortunately created is that for most human beings, until the pain that we're experiencing is just like indescribably unbelievable, most of us won't get off the dime because, we're comfortable with that which is familiar. So
Correct.
Was that true for you? It's like, something's got to give here.
100%. I couldn't agree with those words more. I mean, I think that I was in that place for probably about 3 years, and was looking outside of myself for something to fix that.
Yes.
And, I just kept going from one thing to another to another. And, whenever I finally was in a spot, we went on vacation. My husband and I take a motorcycle trip every year. And we went on vacation in September of 2019. And I can honestly tell you, I don't remember a whole lot about that vacation because I was so far in my head and just unhappy. And whenever I finally got to the end of that year, I just knew that something had to give.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you familiar with the concept of the dark night of the soul?
I am not.
Okay. That's for another conversation. So who would you say who's the audience for your book?
I would say the audience for my book is anybody that is struggling within themselves to truly find happiness, to truly find balance in their life, and to truly live the life that we were put here to live.
Yeah, I agree with you. Are you familiar with this concept that we don't see the world as it is? We actually see the world as we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I actually have all the power. It's like I'm the one that's driving the car. And when I'm willing to do the internal work, presto chango, the world that I'm living in changes.
Absolutely. And, when I think I was trying to live my life, and whenever I kind of made the decision to turn that over to God, everything just kind of came together. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Were you raised in a religion?
I wasn't raised in deep religion. We would go to church, but it never was an ingrained thing to where we committed to on a regular basis. And throughout my life, I would get very involved. I led small groups in a church that we belonged to at one point, and then I would pull away from it again. And so, recently I've gotten back into church, and I just feel just a sense of peace.
So you use the word God. How do you define your version of God?
He is just someone that truly gives our life purpose and meaning, and truly leads us to do what our life's purpose is. And I don't think that I really understood that until this year.
Do you actually believe that God is a he?
I do.
Okay. What if someone doesn't believe in God? Does your book still speak to them?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because there's not an overview of whatever your personal religious beliefs are at all. In fact, one of the things I love about your book is you have quotes from just all over. It's a very universal approach. So when you and I chatted last night, I asked you if you could identify your two favorite quotes in the book. and you took some time to think about them. So I want to read them. I love them both too. And they were probably my two favorite quotes as well. But in reading them and then you reflecting on them and you sharing with the listeners why you chose them, I think it'll give them an insight into, what you have to offer through the book. So this quote is from Bob Proctor. A lot of people know Bob Proctor. If you don't, Google him. I love this. Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see. I'm going to read that again. Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see. You choose. Tell us about that.
I think for so many years, I lived my life in fear. I was always fearful. What is somebody going to think of me? Are they going to, be upset with me? Are they going to be proud of me? And that fear of disappointment just played a huge part in my life, huge. And, whenever I finally kind of sat down, and that was one of the chapters that's in the book, whenever I really kind of sat down and really kind of went through what that meant to me, letting go of that fear was, just a complete release. Just a complete release, and peace and calmness came into my life after I let go of that.
That's beautiful, Julie. How did you turn the page from being trapped in that story of worrying so much about others' perceptions of us?
I think just the looking within myself. Just really knowing that I'm a good person. I care about people. I care about things, and that me being me was enough at the end of the day.
Say that again. That is really, really powerful.
That me being me was good enough at the end of the day.
Wouldn't it be an amazing world if every single child, if that was their mantra, me being me is good enough. Me being me is good enough.
Yeah. And we talk about fear, and you just saying that is vulnerability. That is bravery. That is the opposite of fear. That's beautiful.
And I want to follow up on something you said. And I think this is so true of so many people. We live our lives like hoping that my mom will be proud of me. My dad will be proud of me. My spouse, my coach, my teacher. I want to ask you this, Julie. In 2020, is Julie proud of Julie?
100%.
Yes.
100%.
And to me, that's freedom.
It's absolutely freedom. I feel so free at this point in my life that, this me talking with you guys would not have been something that I would have done a year ago.
Yeah. And Julie, for people at home that are watching this, or that are going to be watching it later, and they say, I want to feel that way. I want to feel good about myself and feel fulfilled. Will they be closer to getting there with your workbook and sitting and taking the time to do it?
I truly believe that they will. Whenever I wrote the book, I actually took an opportunity to go back through, read the book again, and actually do the workbook as I read the book. And I've done that twice. And each time I do it, I realize it's something new and a new way to live my life the way that I'm choosing to live it, and not choosing to live it for somebody else or the way that somebody else believes that I should live it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what we teach is that change is possible, healing is possible. It starts with intention. The vision, if we don't know where we're going to go, how are we going to get there? feeling that vision, so we raise our vibrational level, and then taking concrete, doable, measurable action steps. The book offers the entire package. I mean, the whole package. If someone is willing to do the work, do the work.
Agreed, Tom. And you know, it's funny that you say that, because I have a friend who said to me, I'm finally ready to do the work. I wanted it given to me, but I now realize in order for me to get what I want, I have to put in the work.
And to me, having done the work, the fruits of the work are that much sweeter, because I know that they are hard earned, hard won, hard created. That's how you can say, and I can say, and Jessica can say, we're proud of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also suggest, if I can do it, if Julie can do it, if Jessica can do it, there's nobody out there that can't do it if they're willing to do it. It's not just going to happen. You don't buy the book, set the book on your coffee table, pass by it a couple of times and hope somehow energetically your life is going to be healed.
Right.
That's not how it works. So this is the second quote that I love. So I shared this with you earlier, that for probably 3 years, I practiced what's called Iangar Yoga. It's a very, very specific type of yoga. Do you know what it is, Jessica?
I don't.
It's one of those things that if you know what it is, you know what it is, because the teachers usually go to India, study at the institute. I mean, it is really, really a way of life. And you use props, so you have bands and you have blocks. And it's different from a lot of other versions of yoga in that the belief is that you focus on a couple of poses and you hold them for what seems like eternity. And you allow the body to just really, really, really melt into the pose. So it's the relaxing, and it's the breathing, and it's the releasing all resistance that you have. So it's a complete new way of looking at yoga and a new way of looking at life. It's really, really powerful. So this is the quote you shared from the creator. Love this. Health is a state of complete harmony of the body, mind, and spirit. I'm going to say that again. Health is a state of complete harmony of the body, mind, and spirit. When one is free from physical disabilities and mental distraction, the gates of the soul open. Isn't that beautiful? So in a nutshell, when we intend to hold the vision of, take action steps to create a harmony in our body, in our mind, and in our spirit, the gates of our soul open up. Okay, so that is either going to resonate with someone who's going to go, where do I get that book? Or someone's going to go, I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, not ready. We love you. So for those people that go, oh yeah, I'm ready to open up the soul, where do they find the book, Julie?
The book is actually available on Amazon, and that is kind of how the book is designed. So the book is designed with opening up your mindset and kind of looking at more positive ways to react to situations in your life. And then it includes a chapter on nutrition. So kind of getting our body in sync with our mind, and then mindfulness and movement. So whenever we take those areas and we combine them together, it creates such a balance in our life that it's freeing. It's totally freeing. And so that's what the book walks you through, with giving you some action steps to kind of take to have the mind, body, and spirit come together in harmony.
Do you think it matters which of those three you focus on first?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
And I think that you have to be in the right mindset in order to accomplish any of those.
So first focus on your mind.
Yes.
And then the body?
And then the body. And with the body comes the movement and the eating healthier with more whole foods, taking processed foods out, you know, the mindfulness with meditation. Meditation for me was, it was night and day. Whenever I started meditation, the amount of anxiety that I had throughout my days diminished. And I have done that every single day since September of last year.
And where did you go to, learn how to meditate?
Well, I was going to a yoga studio, and that's where it was introduced to me. But started looking at ways to do that, and I found Insight Timer, which is an app. And I mean, it was just life-changing for me.
What's the name of the app? What's the name of the app?
Insight Timer.
Okay.
Never heard of it. Julie, is meditation the same for you as prayer, or are they two separate?
It is not. Two separate things. Meditation for me is really allowing my mind to clear and not really focusing on anything in particular, and allowing my body to kind of re-energize and give me what I need in order to go through my day with purpose and meaning.
So let me ask you this. Is meditation for you, is it a vehicle to receive? Or not necessarily?
I would say yes. I would say yes.
Okay. I believe that we are each teachers and we're each students. I'm 63 years old, and I learned something today from you, and it makes perfect sense to me. I like that you were so adamant that, yes, focus on the mind first. The mind first, the stories that we're telling ourselves in our head. Love that. Once there's some peace and order there, then I'm in a position to work on my body from a peaceful, organized, mindful way, as opposed to, brutalizing my body, which a lot of people do. Mind, body, and then it's exactly what Iangar, it's the quote, then my spirit is, I love it, love it, love it. Learn something new today. Appreciate that.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Oh, I just love that you incorporate all of that into your book. The harmony of all of it, the body, the nutrition, the mindfulness.
And I want to make it clear that it's not an overwhelming book at all. It's a very manageable, doable book. You don't sit there and read the whole book at once. It's a resource. It's a tool. If I may be so bold, it's a beautiful companion to all the work that I do. I mean, I really, really, really love it. Hold it up for people again so they can see it. Yeah, Finding Fulfillment Within, you can get it on Amazon. So I know that you have a book signing on Saturday. If folks are in the area in Florida and they're watching, are they able to come?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. It is at the Colonnade community. And so if they're interested, they can shoot me out an email at julie@findingfulfillmentwithin to get the specific details of the event.
And if people want to connect with you, because you are a coach, you do work with people one-on-one, they get a hold of you through the same email?
Same email or my website, which is www.findingfulfillmentwithin.com.
Beautiful. So I'm going to bring on a friend of ours. Her name is Mary. I think you would really, really enjoy getting to know her. Do you have like 15 or 20 more minutes to stick with us?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's bring Mary on. Mary is a fascinating human being who, through intention and vision and action, connected with me. And I'm actually going to get to meet her for the first time shortly. So Mary, you know Jessica, this is Julie.
Hi, Julie. How nice to meet you. Let me just
Hi,
make
Mary.
you guys bigger. Oh my gosh.
Nice to meet you as well.
You are going to love Julie's book. It is so in line with everything that we teach.
I just kind of jumped on a couple of minutes ago and I absolutely concur. I can't wait to hear more about it. I wish I had heard the whole segment, and I'm looking forward to going back and taking it all in. Wow.
This is one of the things that really, really resonated with me that Julie said, that yes, we're mind, body, spirit. And I asked her, I honestly didn't know what her response would be. I asked her if she thought that we should focus on one first, one second, one third. And she very forcefully said, yes, we should focus first on our mind, then on our body, and then on our spirit. And that really, really, really resonates with me.
It really makes sense to me as well, because I think what happens a lot is that people want to, they think that the first, in some ways, the first point is their body. You know, if I can just, lose weight, or if I can just, get right with my diet. And they try to strong arm themselves into it. You know, they don't approach it from a place of compassion. Because they're telling themselves all kinds of other things in their mind. They can't get to that place of compassion yet. And my experience as a nutrition and wellness coach has been that prior to my grief journey, I coached people on nutrition. And if you're telling yourself stories, you can feed yourself nutritious food all day long. If you are really under stress, your body can't even take in those nutrients. It can't process those nutrients. So it's not just a one step scenario. It encompasses all, but in order to be able to do that, I agree, Jill. I mean, I think you have to be able to understand what you're telling yourself, uncover all of those beliefs, or, and then be able to get to that point where you can actually take in the other elements, if that makes sense.
And the truth is, sleep is such an essential part of overall well-being. And when my mind is going and going and going and going, I'm not able to sleep.
Right. You know how I feel about sleep. I mean, I use my watch, even though I don't really like sleeping with a device on, but it helps me to know what the quality of my sleep is. And I know that if my sleep is really good, that I'm allowing restorative, regenerative processes to occur. And, that's part of it. It is so interconnected, it's not just one. But I do love a lot of your work, Tom, and our work really in terms of, that sometimes healing doesn't happen just in the mind, it happens in the heart. But what I love about that is that you could then, because I've been struggling with this, to be honest, I've been struggling with this a little bit. And I'm like, but your heart is sort of like the master command center in some ways. So absolutely mind, body, and spirit, but your heart is kind of the feeling overseer of everything. So it kind of, does that make sense? It kind of like you can incorporate, it's like, I feel like my heart in some ways is my emotional command center, and so much emotion is tied to everything else.
It's definitely worth another conversation. Off the top of my head, I would say, as I heal my mind, as I heal my body, as I heal my spirit, that drastically affects my heart, my ability to live from a healthy, expansive, loving heart center.
True. Absolutely.
So you're going to make something for us today? You're going to show us how to make something?
I am. I've got chia pudding here. It's so easy and it's really delicious and it's fun and it can be eaten. Are any of you familiar with chia pudding before I get in? Yeah.
I misread it. I thought it was chai.
Yeah, I think that was a typo. It's chia.
Oh, I might have thought it was chai.
No, so we don't know what it is.
I don't even know what chia is.
Well, do you remember the chia pets?
Yes.
It is actually those little seeds that people would put on those little chia figurines, and then they would add water and then they would get them to sprout. But chia seeds are really a powerhouse of nutrients. It's something that's been around, but I think it's really, really versatile in that, I'm getting ahead of myself, but chia is really high in fiber. It's really high in omega-3 fatty acids, protein. It's antioxidant rich, and they're really healthy depending on how you prepare them. But you can eat this pudding that I'm going to make. You can have it for breakfast. You can have it for a dessert. It reminds me, when I first started, it reminds me of tapioca pudding. And my mom always loved tapioca pudding. So, I've been making it for years, and it's just fun and it's easy and it's a really good grab and go breakfast. If you eat breakfast, and if you don't, it's a great dessert. You can mix things in it. Like I have a recipe that makes it taste like a creamsicle. You can swirl, fruit in it. It's just really diverse, but I'm going to give you the basic recipe today. Okay.
And my first question, where in the store do I get chia?
Oh, that's right. They'll be with like flax seeds. They'll be with, I know. I'm trying now. I'm thinking, because you like to go to the Walmart Supercenter. I'm trying to think of where it would be.
I think the baking,
maybe
the baking section, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? When push comes to shove, I'll ask.
Okay, good, because they are really readily available anymore. Okay. They're pretty. So what I've got here is a cup of nut milk. This is coconut milk, actually. So I'm going to pour that into my little mason jar. Okay. And I guess my suggestion is when you mix this up, you should mix the liquid ingredients first so the chia seeds don't clump. I find that with cold ingredients that works best. So I have a cup of coconut milk.
Okay.
I'm making vanilla chia pudding, so I'm going to add.
Is it cold milk?
It is cold milk. It doesn't have to be cold milk, but it is. This is coconut.
You can take it right out of the refrigerator.
I did. Yes. Right. And so I've got just a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm just adding a little sweetener. I like pure maple syrup because of the vitamins that it has. You can also use stevia or any sweetener, but this is probably one of my preferred. And it's only a tablespoon. There's not a lot of sugar. Sometimes people think that things are healthy and then they add a lot of sugar and a lot of sweetener to it and kind of.
So busting a myth out there, it is okay and healthy to have a tablespoon of maple syrup?
It is. It absolutely is. I mean, absolutely. You want to keep an eye on your sugar, you know, especially if you struggle with insulin resistance, which so many of us do anymore. You know, so, you know, less is best, but absolutely, you know, and I guess just look at the kind of sugar that you're eating. And again, I would certainly take be careful how much that I was using, but there's a lot of good vitamins in maple syrup. You know, it's not refined sugar. So yeah, I mean, really, this is going to make 2 or 3 servings. So when you break that down, that's not really a lot of sugar, you know, unless you're eating a lot of sugar all day long. So,
Okay.
So, all right. So now I have my milk, my vanilla, and my maple syrup. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add my chia seeds. I'm going to add, usually I do about 1/2 cup of milk to 2 tablespoons of chia. And I just need a paper towel because my tablespoon is got maple syrup on. So I'm just really going to add my chia. 1.
Are you doing 4?
Yeah. 2. I spilled. 3.
How much vanilla did you put in?
A teaspoon.
Okay.
4. All right. So then I'm just gonna stir. And I'm gonna.
Julie, have you made this before?
My husband made it. Yeah.
I love your husband. What's your husband's name?
John.
We need more Johns out there. Yay.
I'm going to let this sit for a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and stir it up a couple more times. Then after I've stirred it one more time, I'm going to put a lid on it. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours or overnight. That is it. Now
So
let me.
Do they soak up the liquid?
Ta-da! There it is.
Take a spoonful out.
I'm gonna do more than that, Tom.
You're gonna taste it.
I'm going to go ahead and, so I've got this pretty little pumpkin bowl here. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Very effective.
Okay, this I could definitely do.
You can do all of these things. So here it is. I'm gonna hold a spoon up to the camera too. But here it is.
And it's so good. It's so good.
It is so good. Can you see that? The
Yeah.
little seeds?
Yeah.
Okay. So there I have that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I have got 72% cacao chips here. So I'm going to add a couple of those on top here. Then I've got a few raspberries because I love raspberries. And I'm going to put that on there. Now that's really all I'm going to do. There it is. But if I was having it for dessert, I might put some whipped cream on it. I might get a can of coconut milk, 100% full fat coconut milk, and I might scoop off that coconut and whip it up. It tastes just like whipped cream. It's delicious. And oh, here it is. All right. Let's see. It tastes just like tapioca. Delicious. It's really
All right.
good.
There is no
Really good.
reason on God's green earth why any human being cannot make this. None. Instead of the Portillo's chocolate cake some night, have this for dessert.
Absolutely. And if you do have it for breakfast or even lunch, it will keep you so full. It really, because of all the fiber, and those little chia seeds are really, really, really hydrating. They absorb more than, like, what is it, Julie? It's like 10 times their own weight in water. So they're very hydrating. Those are just a few of their benefits, but they are really super.
Does it have protein?
6 grams of protein. So that's 2 servings. So that's 12 in that little container. There are 12. There is 12 grams of protein there.
Okay.
And you could you could, in this right now, you could put some protein powder in this.
That's what I would do. I put
Yes.
protein powder in that.
Yes.
Like a
Your
chocolate protein powder.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That would be good.
And
Mary,
you know,
was
if some-
that,
go ahead.
go
Go ahead, Jess.
was that just 4 tablespoons of the chia seeds that you used? And it expands that much.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It does. And if for some reason you don't like if you make it and you don't like the consistency of the little seeds, you could blend it and it would be smooth. And so if the consistency bothers you, I feel like it tastes, you know, I like it. It's kind of interesting and it tastes like tapioca to me.
So I know this is a simple question. I'm going to ask it. I believe I know the answer. So if I wanted to do 3 cups of the milk, I can do that in one container with the additional, and that's cool. Like,
absolutely. Yes. And you can keep this for like 5 days. You can keep it a while.
Okay.
And if you make it and it seems if it seems a little too thick to you, you can always just add a little milk to it. So,
yeah, love it. When I get home, I promise you I'm going to try that. I will post photographs of it. And I like the fact that I could have it for breakfast with the protein powder in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Julie, I can't remember. Do you have recipes or links in the book for people to refer to?
There's not specific recipes, but there's ideas that I give you with the healthy fats and with the healthy proteins and the fruits and vegetables and fiber. Yeah.
And you talk about whole foods.
Whole foods. I'm a huge proponent of whole foods.
Me too,
Julie.
So is your husband, quote, on the program as well?
Is he on my program?
You know, I mean, is he mindful? I mean, I was impressed that he made the chia pudding. I mean, is he mindful of what he's putting in his mouth?
He is. Not as, I think, consistent as what I am right now, but I mean, in the past, he was probably more so consistent than what I was. But since I've gone through the nutrition and the health coaching, and I've really, really kind of been very conscious of what I'm eating.
So when would you say you made a real conscious effort to mindfully put things in your mouth as opposed to doing them subconsciously?
You know, I would say probably around July. I finally was in the mindset. And, you know, I think, you know, what Mary had said with the stress, you know, your body is just in this fight or flight response, and your digestive system can't relax. And so people that try to lose weight that are so stressed are never going to achieve that, because their body is just consistently, and I believe it's with the cortisol.
It is.
You know, that it just consistently is producing that, and your body never gets a chance to just relax and digest the way that it's supposed to.
So
same thing with sleep as well. I'm sorry, just had to sleep.
Well, so today's November 5th. The amount of stress that we're literally inhaling as a result of world situation with the election, the virus, et cetera. Add to that, Thanksgiving is approaching, Christmas is approaching, 2021 is approaching. And for anyone actually that's living and breathing, we have no idea. Are the schools going to remain open? Are the hospitals going to reach capacity? I have an 88-year-old mom. You know, what does Thanksgiving look like for her? What does Christmas look like for her? Even though it might seem counterintuitive, today would be a perfect day to buy the book. Today would be a perfect day to commit to leaning into taking a look at our mind. Awareness is the first step in saying, hey, maybe I don't have to suffer through the rest of 2020 and into 2021. It's counterintuitive. People might think I'm too busy, I'm too stressed, I can't sleep, the election. Stop, sit, take 10 breaths. Who do you want to be at the end of November? Who would you like to be? There's another quote you have about, I won't but it's like, unless you have a plan, there's something about a plan or a goal, you know, that's the beginning. Hold your book up again and let people know where they can get it, if you would, Julie.
So this is what it looks like. And it was a bestseller in 6 categories on Amazon. And it is available out there on Amazon. And then you can also reach out to me as well. But Amazon's the quickest way to get it.
Let people know how they get a hold of you.
Julie at findingfulfillmentwithin.com or through my website, www.findingfulfillmentwithin.com.
Thank you. And Mary, tell folks about this 3-week program that we're launching on November 16th.
And I just want to also add that being aware mindfully, absolutely, but I believe that it has to come from a compassionate standpoint. You know, if we can tell, you know, if we tell ourselves all day long, I've got to be more mindful about what I'm eating. You know, you're such a loser. Why can't you, you know, we do. We're our own worst, not advocate. So I just wanted to share that. The 3-week program kicking off on November 16th is healing mind, body, and spirit. And it does incorporate and encompass all of these things, you know, compassion and, you know, learning to love yourself with nutrition, with gentle movement, with self-care, all of those things, so that you can let your mind slow down and be able to become aware, you know, gentleness. And again, you know, we are designed to heal. We are designed to heal, but anything we can do to support ourselves by, you know, getting ourselves to release our happy hormones, our endorphins, our oxytocin, our serotonin, in eating so that we can support the manufacture of those hormones in our gut, where 90% of our serotonin is manufactured. Limiting the cortisol by trying to breathe mindfully and slow down and relax and eat your food sitting down so that your system knows, hey, you know, I mean, all these things happen when you sit down and eat, you know, and it needs time for your saliva to kind of kick in and prepare everything, you know, and it's a process. So, but we're doing all of that with it all in mind, with great food, not complexities, it's not going to be hard, it's going to be easy, and it's going to be enjoyable because we have self-care and compassion in there. And we're going to be talking about beauty, and we're going to be talking about gratitude and all of those things that can support us in doing all of these things.
So the program kicks off November 16th. There are, I believe, 18 spots left. We're going to limit it to 22 seats. You can register. You can learn more about it and register at tomzuba.com. So this is how I want to end. I'd like every single one of us, if you're willing, to share one thing, one concrete, tangible thing that people who are listening to us live or via the recording can do to kind of lean into focusing on their mind. Julie suggested, and I agree, that that's where we start, that we become aware of the stories that we're telling ourselves that are creating pain, you know, stress, discomfort. So what is one concrete, tangible thing that folks could do today to lean into finding fulfillment within? I'm going to take a couple breaths, think about it, feel about it.
I think a big one for me is sitting in silence and sitting in quiet and not needing to have so many distractions. You know, for me, sometimes that's in the car. But carving out time where there's no noise and no distractions, sitting with yourself and sitting with your thoughts and really checking in to see how you're feeling versus trying to be distracted and kind of go numb in those other ways.
Thanks, Jessica.
I actually also think that, oh, go ahead, Julie, you go.
I was going to say, I was going to kind of say something to Mary's comment as well is, you know, whenever we start that process with, you know, getting our mindset in the right place, that it's super important not to do it with judgment. You know, whenever we go to do that, we need to do it from a level of curiosity and not from judgment, because we need to be curious about the ways that we need to change and not be so harsh and so judgmental on where we're currently at. So, I mean, I think for me, you know, for the viewers, you know, is just to really, you know, like Jessica said, just kind of sit with your thoughts and be curious about what has brought you to where you are.
How about you, Mary?
I have to agree. You know, I think that sitting in stillness, maybe doing some relaxing breathing, breathe into it, take some time to just be and let your mind settle down. So meditation, you know, really, you know, however that is for you. I don't want to get caught up in the word meditation, but sitting in stillness. And, you know, sleep. I just don't think that I think we need to make sure we're resting so that our mind can rest. So I would say sleep and stillness, breathing.
Julie, what was the name of that meditation app again?
Insight Timer.
You froze up a little bit. Could you say it again?
Insight Timer.
Okay, Insight Timer.
There's also one called Calm that a lot of people like, CALM. You might have talked about it already.
No, we didn't. Thanks for adding that. And this is what I want to leave folks with. This is a decision that I've made, and it brings me incredible peace, that life actually does unfold for me. And every step I've taken, every single step I've taken has brought me to this moment. And this is the only moment in my life that exists. This right here is the point of power. If I want to connect with my version of God, I do that right here. If I want to heal my mind, I do that right now. Now. When I can gently, compassionately, kindly receive every single step that I've taken that's brought me right here, that's the opening. That's where the shift occurs. And that allows me to lean into the first steps in co-creating and consciously co-creating the person that I came to this planet to be. Everything, what I would judge as the good, the bad, and the ugly, all necessary, all brought me right here. None of us are victims. We're actually really, really powerful beings that co-create with the power of the universe. Most people do it from a subconscious level. Our suggestion, our invitation is, hey, what if we all woke up today? What if we literally woke up and decided, I'm going to drive the car that I'm in, and I'm going to make the decisions, and I'm going to take responsibility for what I think, for what I feel, for what I do, for what I create. If we make that decision today, who could we be by January 1st? Who would our families be by January 1st? We get to choose. We get to choose in this seemingly chaotic world, am I willing, am I able to create peace inside of me, which will change the entire universe? I'm in. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That's the gift that I'm going to give myself. And that's the gift that I'm going to give the people that I love. And that's the gift that I'm going to give the universe. Julie, I look forward to being with you in person Saturday night. Really looking forward to meeting you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
I'm excited to get your workbook.
Yeah, I want to connect with you because I want to have a longer extended conversation with you on my podcast. My podcast is called Becoming Radiant. Your book is a beautiful, beautiful tool that people can use to help them become radiant. Mary, as always, you were made for this. You were born to do this. I am excited about the 22 people that we're going to be of service to come November 16th. Is that the day we start, November 16th?
Yes.
Yes. And you know what, Jessica, how lucky is Lily to be being raised by a mom who's got this incredible, I would say new way of doing life. What a gift that you're giving to the world.
I do my best. Lily might disagree that she's so lucky and blessed, but yeah, there is a new way. There absolutely is a new way, and it's embracing it. And it's that we have a choice and that we're not victims. Everything you just said. So thank you.
Okay, everybody, thanks for being with us. We'll be back next Thursday, 11 a.m. Central, and I will still be in Florida. So I'm going to have a big smile on my face. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.